Welcome to our course Fundamentals of Game Design and Gameplay. We are discussing how to incorporate stories and narratives into game. So there are 8 videos before this video, so you need to watch them all to understand this better. Now, when to write the story. I think story should be written in the elaboration stage of game design. We know there are 3 stages: concept, elaboration, and tuning. Concept is the concept stage. In the elaboration stage, you expand your game concept and everything. So you should not write your story in the concept stage because it can change. The scene can change. Yet it's not decided whether funders will fund or not, so many things can affect. If you just write, maybe it can be wastage of your time. In the concept stage, maybe you can define the player's role, the kind of game play he will experience, a list of levels or episodes that you may want to include in the game, but you will write all the stories in one of the game world or one of the gameplay in the elaboration stage. And other related concepts of storytelling in games: frustrated author syndrome, giving the player no freedom. I think sometimes it happens when the game story writers comes from movie or book writing experience, though they trail or they say that they have given much freedom for the player to change the game world or gameplay or whatever, but it may be found that the player does not have much freedom. This is called frustrated author syndrome. So you should keep in mind that the authority or freedom you assign to the player, they really does make sense. And I think especially in non-linear games, episodic delivery. The episodic delivery of games, I think what happens is you will be developing games as a modules or as an episode rather than developing the complete game at once. It can be based on the same theme or same story, one continuous story, or maybe one related story. So it is just the marketing plan, I think, selling players entertainment a few hours at a time rather than a long story. In this way, if the game requires long time or long investment to prepare the game, to make the game, maybe you can deliver step by step, giving the player some entertainment, also making some money, but you also need to make sure that the game will be a success. I think there are different ways of delivering episodic form of games. One concept is the unlimited series. In this series, I think you will deliver the game in different episodes. Each episode will provide one theme and solve that theme, but if you play those episodes in any order, still they will make sense. So each will consisting of a self-contained story. The plot is introduced and solved. A single theme or context runs through the entire series. Stories exist so independently that you can play each episode in any order and still the game will make sense. Sometimes a thorough introduction at the beginning of different episode may help if it somehow links to the previous story. Still, if it's not a continuous story, maybe the overall theme of the game can be explained at the beginning of the story of the episode, I think. Another concept is serial. I think it's an infinite sequence of episodes. Episodes are not self-contained. I think the stories will propagate from one episode to another episode. One episode will end at a critical event to create a strong drive, strong desire to play the next episode. Just get players hooked in a story and pay episode and make them pay episode after episode. But it may not be always commercially successful. But at the end of the game, if the player finds he has to buy another one to see the end of the story, he may feel cheated or lied, or maybe he may not enjoy the game overall. Another form is a limited series. It lies in between unlimited and serials. Single episode introduces and solves one plot, but with other plot lines it can be carried over to the next episode. It can be some limited story developed in episode form of games. Okay, potential and limits of episodic delivery. Industry already makes games in the unlimited series. They may start to make games in the limited series, and they can encourage the players to buy the whole set. For example, Harry Potter or Hamlet, designers or companies can make games on the full story but deliver it in multiple, let's say 12 episodes. The player may feel interested to buy them. Sometimes it may work well with the internet revenue models, because as the players don't have to pay, they may not bother whether the story ended in a meaningful way or not. But when the next episode will come, they will play and they will still continue with the story. They will not feel pressure to buy it again right now or something like that, and the games can make money from the advertisement. In case of PC or console games, I think the important principle is do not leave the story unfinished. It may not lead to commercial success. So, summary of storytelling and narratives. Most video games will benefit from a coherent and dramatic story. But designers should remember the interactivity of the game. They should not write novels. And whether you want to provide a linear story or non-linear story with multiple endings or single endings, it will depend on the genre of game you are building or designing, and also the gameplay in the games. For engaging games and for deeper emotional response, to create deeper emotional response and for greater satisfaction, designer should maintain good story that maintains player interests, that shows character growth, balances narrative elements, and remains enjoyable to play. These are the references. I think we just ended our discussion on storytelling and narratives. Okay, if I did not introduce my websites, maybe there is another chance to introduce. So it's for the people of Bangladesh. অবসরে টাকা আয়. Domain and hosting, you can buy hosting. I think these are good. Computing question and answers, you can ask questions and our users will be answering your questions, and the top rated answer will come to the top. Books.justetc.net, it will introduce different books in programming, software engineering, general engineering, mathematics, science and business. Just pointing to different internet resources, you can read them online. ejain.justetc.net, it just articles and short notes on different topics. You can see search engine optimization, software, cell phone, business development, and many. Classifieds, for example, buy, sell, renting, tutoring. You can place advertisement using new advertisement. You can see existing, I think cars to be sold, people want to buy car. Job board, you're already familiar with this. Hosting Bangladesh, tutoring worldwide. Yeah, that's all. Have fun. Thanks.